after a deadly school shooting. New details about a disturbing manifesto that the gunman left behind. Plus, 1 year ago, Beaumont approved a law banning illegal camping. 12 News reporter Derek Jones takes a closer look at the results and the realities for the homeless population since the ordinance took effect. And a legal battle, it's brewing over the new Texas law, why some larger districts aren't going to have to display the 10 Commandments in their classrooms. 12 News Daybreak starts now. Good morning and thanks for waking up with us here on 12 News Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Mark Armstrong. Tia, she has the morning off. It's now 7:01, so let's go ahead and get a first look at your weather with meteorologist Jeff Gerber. And let's take a quick live look outside here from our Roofing 911 live Skycam network above Beaumont, above our 12 News studio. That just looks pretty out there on the horizon, the sun behind the clouds. Jeff, how's it looking out there today in southeast Texas? Any rain?
Yeah, we'll see another round of some scattered showers for today, but we'll go about 30% coverage. So kind of like yesterday, won't see a whole lot, but what does develop will be some heavy downpours, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. Starting off in the 70s this morning, 75 in Silsbee and Woodville, 74 Beaumont, 77 Orange, 76 Port Arthur. Jasper's at 72, Kirbyville's at 73. Highs around 90 today, and like I said, about that 30% coverage of maybe a few showers.
All right, Jeff, now to across the nation. This morning, a community shattered after a gunman opened fire on a back-to-school mass at Annunciation Catholic Church, killing 2 young children and injuring 17 others. Over the last 24 hours, several vigils and memorials have been held as people pray for the victims and grapple with the shock and grief of this tragedy. This all unfolded at around 8:30 Wednesday morning on the south side of Minneapolis. Police saying that the shooter, dressed in all black and armed with 3 guns, opened fire through the stained glass windows of the church while the kids were in there praying. Jennifer Hoff breaks down what we know so far.
In southwest Minneapolis, there are signs that tragedy has struck.
Certainly a day and a news conference that no one wants to be at.
Governor Tim Walz flanked by law enforcement and politicians hours after a shooter targeted Annunciation Church at the beginning of what was the first mass of the school year, killing 2 students and injuring 14 more.
There shouldn't be words for these types of incidents because they should not happen.
The children who died, just 8 and 10 years old. Mayor Jacob Fry recounting their teachers huddling to protect the others.
The way that they acted during severe threat and danger was nothing short of heroic.
Frustrated with people's thoughts and prayers, Fry instead calling for more action.
I think the impetus has to be on all of us as leaders to do a whole lot more, to recognize that we've got more guns in this country than we have people.
Police Chief Brian O'Hara confirming the shooter used 3 guns, purchased legally and recently, even barricading several church doors from the outside before shooting through the windows, then taking their own life. All of this unfolding less than 24 hours after 3 other people were killed in separate shootings across a city reeling from a tragedy that will likely leave lasting marks.
Kids died today. This needs to be about them. This needs to be wrapping our arms around these families with every bit of love that we can possibly show.
And back here at home, Beaumont Catholic Diocese Bishop David Toops, he expressed his grief over the shooting. Now, he released a statement that read in part that we're going to continue to work hard to ensure the safety and protection of our school children at our 4 Catholic schools here in southeast Texas. Each have security details and perimeter fencing, but we must stay ever vigilant, end quote there. Now, we're going to continue to track this tragic situation on air and online. All right, your time is now 7:04, and back here at home, a Beaumont man is back in jail after police say that he was linked to a crime by his ankle monitor. Now, Christopher Harris, he's accused of stealing a teen's car at gunpoint. Harris, he is the 2nd suspect arrested in that carjacking, which happened on Tuesday, and he was already out on bond during that alleged carjacking. He was originally arrested for a shooting at the Autumn Oaks Apartments last month. police say back then Harris shot someone multiple times, but that victim is expected to be okay. Fast forward to this carjacking, he now is facing new charges, including aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and aggravated robbery.
You can't let one of God's creatures lay out there and die and run off.
Those were the tough words there from District Judge John Stevens after a Jefferson County jury sentenced a Beaumont man to 5 years probation for a deadly 2021 crash. 26-year-old Armando Olvera, he pleaded guilty to accident involving injury or death on Monday. Prosecutors saying that he was drunk and driving an unregistered dump truck when he pulled out in front of a car on Highway 124 near Cragen Road. That crash, it killed Jessica Robin and left her mother with serious injuries. Now, along with probation, he's also going to have to pay $10,000 in fines. He also has to spend 180 days in county jail, but he does have the option to serve that on the weekends. So it's been 1 year since Beaumont approved its illegal camping ordinance. This is an effort to make homelessness less visible in the city. And our 12 News reporter Derek Jones, he looks at the impact 1 year later. Derek?
Mark, this month, Beaumont police made 8 arrests for illegal camping, some also facing drug, loitering, and littering charges. Homelessness advocates say the ordinance leaves a gap with too few housing and mental health options. 525 people. That's the amount of homeless people who were within Beaumont just last year, according to the Southeast Texas Regional Planning Commission's latest data. With the Salvation Army and some other places being the only shelters providing assistance to the homeless, Executive Director Christopher Robinson says they're seeing they can't help everyone.
So places like the Salvation Army where they can spend the night, and then places like Henry's Place are all the more important, but the population is rising. Right now, we created an outside area for the homeless folks to spend time because there are probably 50 more people daily than capacity would allow inside comfortably.
Forcing those with no housing to break the law.
There's no longer a place to go after you've spent your allotted time at Salvation Army. So it kind of puts some of the folks in a pickle if they're here long term.
The ordinance states that leaving personal belongings on private property for more than 8 hours is considered an illegal encampment, even with owner's permission. The ordinance requires people living outside to move their encampment within 72 hours or face fines from $50 to $1,000. Beaumont Police Public Information Officer Roderick Williams says they still have a job to do.
We don't want to write citations for littering, like pick up after yourself. You want to have a heart for people that have no place to go, but you also have to take care of the city as well as private property that these people are camping on.
Shelter operators say they will continue to do their best to help the unhoused get off the streets.
Just so there's always somewhere that homeless folks have a place to go.
There is a whole other side to this. Beaumont business owners and residents say they're dealing with drug use and unsanitary conditions around their doorways, especially in downtown. They argue the ordinance doesn't go far enough and blame shelters and services for drawing the homeless. Recently, they met with police demanding more action. In studio, Derek Jones, 12 News.
All right, Derek. And this morning, Beaumont police, they're sounding the alarm over scams happening in the city. The latest one happened last week when a Beaumont man was pressured to give away thousands of dollars. Officers, they ended up arresting these 2 men and charged them with felony theft. Now, this started last Tuesday. Police say that a Beaumont man called 2 men back after receiving a scam email from them. Now, according to investigators, the suspects, they made the victim believe that he had received a $50,000 refund in error. They said that the victim needed to return that money to them, and that victim eventually handing them $20,000 in person. He then went back to his bank in order to withdraw some more money. The bank, they caught on, and they ended up calling the police.
We were notified. Our patrol division, along with criminal investigations, worked together and eventually able to take 2 suspects into custody that had arrived at the residence to pick up the remainder of the money.
Now, according to BPD, it was the first time that the Financial Crimes Unit was able to arrest scammers of that type in the middle of a crime like this. So if you believe that you are being victimized in a scam, be sure to contact your local law enforcement. And across Texas now, the FBI raided a former Houston hotel in connection to a forced labor and money laundering case. The building, it is one of several ministry campuses tied to Kingdom of God Global Church. Two church leaders, David Taylor and Michelle Brannon, they are accused of running call centers in 4 states and forcing followers to solicit donations. Victims, they allegedly faced physical and psychological abuse, and they couldn't leave without permission. Now, an employee next door to the Houston site shares what they saw.
So just kind of weird stuff. Seeing people from the window, and like whenever you notice them back, to kind of like look away or get away from the window, that's definitely odd. I never really saw anyone actually leave the place.
According to the indictment, the scheme pulled in $50 million. That money, it was spent on several luxury vehicles, boats, and jet skis. So if convicted, these two church leaders, they could face up to 20 years in prison for each of those charges. It's back to school, and starting Monday, a new state law is going to mandate that the 10 Commandments be displayed in every classroom, but that's only if the district had received those commandments via a donation. The law is facing a legal battle. Larger school districts throughout Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin, they're not going to have to display the 10 Commandments after several organizations and parents filed a lawsuit. They say that that law violates the First Amendment. Now, a U.S. district judge agreed with them, granting an injunction which blocks those districts from putting up any of those donated posters. But Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton says that all the other districts in Texas, they must display the posters by September 1st. Now, here locally, we spoke with Robert Reed. He's a campus director with Bob Hope School, and he says they're already doing this.
So Bob Hope schools, Bob Hope High School specifically, will still have the 10 Commandments on the wall. If it were to be struck down and it applied toward our schools, then we would follow what the law is.
Of course, we're going to keep you updated as this lawsuit plays out in court. And speaking of back to school, don't forget to send in your nominations for our Golden Apple Award. This is a big deal, so it can be anyone, a teacher or anyone in the field of education. Just make your nomination by heading over to 12newsnow.com/goldenapple. All right, as we continue our 7 a.m. hour here on 12 News Plus, Beaumont is pushing for a new animal shelter, and the message from the dedicated animal rescuer. We've got that coming up.
And we're looking at some sunshine out there for this morning in a few locations, also a little bit of cloud cover here and there. We are expecting to see a small chance of rain today, but a better chance as we head towards, looks like Friday into Saturday. The whole weekend won't be wet. We'll look at that coming up.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I wouldn't say that I was like a partier, but I would say that I was a social butterfly. So we would just always drink. That night, I went through a red light and I T-boned another vehicle. And I just remember thinking like, oh no. Right after the DWI, I lost my license and I did 30 days in jail. I could have killed him because I decided to be reckless. I have a ton of regrets. I'm Katie. 5 years ago, I got a DWI and I'm still paying for it every day.
As tropical activity picks up in the Gulf, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters. Get prepared before a storm hits. Watch the 12 News Hurricane Special, streaming on 12 News Plus. From the must-haves in your supply kit to the evacuation routes you'll need to take, plus safety tips and how you can protect yourself from storm scammers. The 12 News Hurricane Special, keeping you prepared. Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn here with one of the most important hurricane tips, having an evacuation plan. First, gather food, water, and medicine before storing it in an emergency kit. Plan well in advance where you're going, how you'll get there, and if you'll need to transport any pets, small children, or the elderly. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Well, 12 News, we're your election headquarters, and we're continuing to break down the bonds that are going to be on the November ballot in Beaumont. Just yesterday, Chief Oktashek, he was here in studio with us talking to us about Proposition B, and that would cover upgrades for Beaumont's police headquarters. But that's not all. It would also fund a new animal shelter. And the new shelter, it's going to come with a $7 million price tag. And as our reporter Ebony Coleman reports, staff members say it's much needed in order to protect our cats and dogs.
Inside Beaumont Animal Care, animals and staff are virtually on top of one another.
Each of our kennels are 3 to 4 dogs or 3 to 4 cats per kennel.
The building no longer meets the shelter's needs.
This is all open and it's not covered. There's no heating or cooling out here.
Viviana Lopez with the shelter says they are usually over their max capacity of 136 animals. This is why the city wants to spend $7 million on a new building.
I think it definitely could be. It would be a big improvement from what we have right now.
Lopez says having extra indoor space would create a more efficient way to care for animals.
This is the sink we use to clean all of our bowls or any other utensils we use for feeding the dogs.
We spoke to Kathy Bruce with Life Force Inc. She rescues senior dogs from the shelter when she can.
The cost of food and vetting and you name it has gone up so much. They're putting, the economy is putting rescues out of business.
As someone that also worked at the shelter for 3 years, she knows firsthand the need for change.
With the newer shelter, we have the ability that we don't have right now. For instance, quarantine.
Our quarantine areas, they're definitely smaller than what would be deemed appropriate for the amount of animals that we house.
Lopez's dream shelter also includes an adoption area and more office space.
Meet and greets are done in our front lobby, which usually is packed with people. All I can say is I hope people show up to vote on November 4th for all the different bond propositions.
And if voters end up approving all of those bonds this November, taxes for Beaumont property owners, they would increase more than $14 per month for every $150,000 of property.
.17 on this Thursday morning, and some places look a little clouded over, but if you look from our Pac La Prairie location to downtown Beaumont, looks like we have clear skies out there. Plenty of blue there in downtown Beaumont. Our Roofing 911 live sky cam network currently showing temperatures in the upper 70s, right around 78, humidity 81%, and a light south wind at about 1 to 2 miles an hour. Officially in Beaumont, 74. Now that's the reading they're getting over at the municipal airport west of town. 77 in Orange, 76 in Port Arthur, Silsbee and Woodville's at 75, Kirbyville 73, and Jasper currently at about 72. Pretty quiet across most of the state. We've been seeing these coastal showers again for this morning. Looks like just a few of those trying to work their way northward into the area. Most of the activity has been staying out into the Gulf. We have this warm front that's going to be working its way northward for today, and that's going to open the door for that cold front to come through late tomorrow and into Saturday, and that's going to give us a pretty good chance for some rain. Speaking of a pretty good coverage of rain, we're seeing that right now in Arkansas, northern Mississippi, back up into Kansas. A lot of rain and thunderstorms there. As we look at radar, you can see some of the showers that came in earlier this morning, then they died down pretty quickly. And as we look at our current radar, there is nothing out there. So it's a dry start this morning if you're heading out to work or school. Temperatures climbing out of the 70s into the 80s. By the time we get to lunch hour, we'll be around 90. And then during the afternoon, we'll see that 30% coverage of a few scattered showers and thunderstorms popping up. As we go into the evening, things should die down, and we're looking at lows tonight back into the 70s. So it should be a nice start as we head towards Friday. Unfortunately, the end of Friday won't be good, as we'll see that front with some showers and thunderstorms. So variable clouds today from partly to mostly cloudy, about a 30% coverage of rain. Temperatures there in the lower 90s. And then for tonight, we'll back off into the middle 70s. Partly cloudy skies and light south winds at about 3 to 8. A 70 forecast shows that good coverage of rain on Friday, especially Friday night at 50%, and that goes up to 60% on Saturday. Probably some of the heaviest rain is going to come overnight into Saturday morning, maybe 1 to 2 inches. And then by the time we get into Sunday, things will start to dry out. After that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a nice bout of some dry weather finally. 3 days in a row with no rain coverages. And after that front goes through, we'll see temperatures into the lower 90s and upper 80s, and temperatures into the upper 60s and lower 70s.
Thank you, Jeff. Your time is now 7:19. Time for some trending news. And the dress that Taylor Swift wore in her engagement photos, it was sold out. It comes after the photos were posted by Swift and Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce in their engagement announcement Tuesday. Swift, she wore this cream and black silk blend dress by Ralph Lauren, selling for just under $320. All sizes. They quickly sold out on Ralph Lauren's website. The celebrity couple made the engagement announcement in concurrent social media posts. The post read, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married." So clever. All right, it's receiving tens of millions of likes. That post going viral, and that dress sold out. And if you are a Swiftie, you may still be celebrating the news. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, they're engaged. And if naysayers are wondering how fans can be so excited for two people most have never ever met before, well, Mandy Gaither explains in today's Health Minute that it's all psychology.
It's the love story that's captivated all the Swifties. By now, you probably know all too well that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have made it official, posting their engagement pictures on social media, and fans are celebrating this enchanted moment for two people most have never met.
There has been an online tidal wave of congratulations, text messages, excitement, and it has to do with sharing this collective experience of an engagement.
Clinical psychologist Susan Albers with Cleveland Clinic says you don't have to have direct experience with something to feel it deeply. Since many fans grew up listening to Swift, they can relate to her. And after years of singing about love, it seems she finally found it.
It gives people hope that if they believe and have experienced heartbreak, they too can experience an engagement or a fairy tale ending that they are hoping for.
Albers says it's what psychologists call a parasocial relationship, a one-sided connection to someone you don't know. And she says social media aided the fan fascination.
In this case, they announced the engagement on Instagram in the same way that a friend would. Our brains don't distinguish between a friend's post and a celebrity's.
But Albert says it's okay for Swifties to be happy. Don't let anyone dim your after engagement glow.
We don't have to turn away from the excitement. It is a happy occasion to celebrate. And for those who are naysayers, it's often a projection of jealousy or fear.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Don't be jealous. All right, here's a live look outside from our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network above Lake Charles. A nice little sunrise there. Your time is now 7:22. Jeff Gerber is going to be right back with another look at your forecast.
This is a tornado on the ground.
And the roads are slippery.
We have a tropical storm warning.
Look at this water.
Street flooding in Beaumont.
It is going to get extremely cold.
The metal building blew away from a business. Staying safe behind the wheel is imperative.
Find a safe spot, move to an interior room.
Just make sure you're staying safe.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
The STEM fields are providing opportunity to be part of the developments that will shape the future, and the Army National Guard is at the forefront of the movement. Soldiers can serve part-time and choose from dozens of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs, working with cutting-edge technology and innovations. And the skills and experience they receive can open doors for them to civilian careers in the STEM world. Join a team that is taking the lead in STEM by talking to a local recruiter or by going to nationalguard.com/careers.
409 Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses.
It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of the human spirit.
It's agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify a community.
We give you the stats, but then we inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable.
We bring it to you all because sports lives in the 409.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, We take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
I'm meteorologist Kerry Cooper here with another hurricane tip. Stay connected. Sign up for free emergency alerts from your local county and plan on to monitor the latest local weather and news at 12newsnow.com. Being aware of any new information will be invaluable. And finally, know the types of alerts you may receive. A watch means be prepared, while a warning means act. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
And all month, 12 News, we've been helping to clear the shelters. So this morning we want you to meet Jeffrey. He's a 1-year-old pup staying out at Beaumont Animal Care. Look at those perky ears he's got. What a cute guy.
409 Sports, brought to you by Golden Triangle Emergency Center, Orange.
All right, the Newton Eagles and the West Orange Stark Mustangs, they're going to hit the field at 7 on Friday, and that's going to be our 409 Sports Game of the Week. The Newton Eagles, they are the perennial powerhouse, and this season looks to be more of the same. Head coach Drew Johnston, he has 14 starters returning from a year ago. The West Orange Stark Mustangs, on the other hand, they're returning 11 players from the last 9-3 squad, and the defense, it could be a problem for opposing teams this season.
And we're hoping that it doesn't rain on Friday night, but there looks like a pretty decent chance of seeing at least some scattered showers Friday night. For today, an isolated shower along the coast at the school bus stop as we head towards the recess this morning, 88. Once again, an isolated shower, and then a few showers on the way home with a temperature of around 90. Along the coast, south winds at 5 to 10 knots, seas around 2 feet. Next high tides at 9:07 this evening.
All right, Jeff, and still ahead here on Daybreak on 12 News Plus, a mass shooting at a Minneapolis school that's left a community shattered. The evidence that investigators are combing through this morning that could unlock the gunman's state of mind, plus a safety advocate with a personal tie to tragedy. They are speaking out after yet another deadly UTV crash in our area. Why she says that Texas must take action. Your time is now 7:27. We're going to be right back here on 12 News Plus. Good morning, Southeast Texas. Thanks for joining us here on 12 News Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Mark Armstrong. Tia has the morning off. Your time is now 7:30, so that means it's time for your morning rush with some of the top stories this morning. First up, police say that a Silsbee man attacked someone with a small sledgehammer. Terrence McCarter, he's charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Now, this attack, it happened close to 1 p.m. Tuesday at a home on 15th Street. Police say that the victim was sitting at a table in someone's backyard when McCarter hit him in the head with that hammer. He remains in jail on a $150,000 bond. And then there was a fish fry that sparked a house fire in Orange Wednesday. Fire crews, they rushed to Rio Grande Place and found smoke pouring from one of the homes. Investigators telling us that a 90-year-old woman was frying fish when she stepped away for a moment, only to return to find her kitchen in flames. Thankfully, she was able to escape without injury, but that home, it is damaged. And workers in Port Arthur, they had a chance to connect with Bechtel at a job fair Wednesday. The company, they're looking for employees for the Port Arthur LNG project. The event, it was organized by Workforce Solutions. So if you missed Wednesday's event, don't worry. You can still apply for a job with Bechtel online. We have a link to that on our website. All right, let's switch gears now and take a live look outside from our Roofing 911 live Skycam network above Jasper. We got Jeff Gerber standing by with today's forecast for Southeast Texas, talking about a little bit of rain.
Yeah, nothing on radar right now. Looks like it's pretty quiet. You'll get out to work or school fine this morning. It's going to be later on this afternoon. We'll see about a 30% coverage. Right now, temperatures generally into the middle to lower 70s, all the way down to 72 in Jasper and Kirbyville, about 74 in Beaumont, 77 in Orange, and 76 in Port Arthur. There's that 30% coverage of some scattered showers and thunderstorms late in the afternoon, early evening. Temperatures during the, say, early afternoon will get up to about 90, 91 with south winds at 5 to 10. Rain chances really increase as we head towards Friday into Saturday. We'll look at that coming up in our 7-day forecast. We're also going to be looking at drier weather as we head towards next week. So we'll do a little bit of rain early in the weekend, and then the holiday on Monday into next week look pretty dry and some nice starts out there. We're expecting some lows in the upper 60s. We'll talk about that coming up in weather.
All right, Jeff. Now, across the nation this morning, police, they are executing for search warrants to learn more about the shooter in that Minneapolis shooting. 1 at the church, the scene of the shooting, and 3 at homes around the metro area of Minneapolis connected to that shooter. Now, in the last 12 hours, our sister station in Minneapolis saw police removing evidence from an apartment in the Richfield neighborhood, and that includes at least 1 firearm. Now, as police continue their investigation, we are also learning more about the shooter, 23-year-old Robin Westman. Reporter AJ Legault has the latest.
Police say 23-year-old Robin Westman left these videos behind as a manifesto. They're rambling, violent, so much so that Care 11 has blurred the imagery. There's footage of multiple firearms and ammunition. Words and phrases scrawled across the guns and magazines range from the names of other school shooters to threats against President Trump, along with racial slurs towards the Black and Jewish communities, and expressed hostility towards religion. In all, a lot of hate. The killer kept diaries, 2 notebooks, written in a conglomeration of the Russian Cyrillic alphabet and English. Care 11's producer MJ speaks Russian and spent hours decoding parts of the diary.
So what this person did is took Russian alphabet letters and used them to write out the words in English. What I'm doing is translating these words letter by letter and based on a sound, trying to figure out what did he actually mean.
The translation reveals dated entries. On May 23rd, Robin describes an obsession with mass shootings, specifically school shootings that date back to 7th grade, and how talking about it scared other children and was reported to adults. A source close to Annunciation School tells Care 11 in the year Robin went there were consistent disciplinary issues. The diaries contain a hand-drawn sketch showing what appears to be the layout of the church. Care 11 has translated the caption, Annunciation from Memory.
And those diaries, they are also included detailed plans to purchase the firearms used in this attack. Police saying that those guns, a shotgun, rifle, and handgun, they were all purchased recently and illegally. Now, there are also references in that diary to recently quitting a job. And your time is now 7:35, and back here at home, a GoFundMe has been set up to help the family of a 45-year-old Martin Gack. Now, he was found dead in the dunes this week at McFadden Beach in Jefferson County. Deputies say that he disappeared August 20th after his truck got stuck in the sand. While waiting for a tow truck, he walked away and never came back. They found his body 5 days later. No foul play is suspected in all this, but an autopsy is underway. We're going to have a link to the family's GoFundMe on our 12 News website. Also this morning, we are hearing from an advocate calling for more safety protocols. This after another UTV crash. This one left an 11-year-old boy dead in Jasper County. 12 News reporter Spencer Plato, she has more about how this advocate went from being in an accident herself to advocating for safety across the nation.
Texas has got a real serious issue.
Southeast Texas has been no stranger to power sports vehicle tragedies. Last month, a Smart family traveling on a UTV was hit by a tanker truck. 4 died, another was injured. And more recently, an 11-year-old boy was killed after their UTV rolled over.
ATVs are considered to be the single deadliest consumer use product, discretionary consumer use product by the Consumer Product Safety Commission for children.
Kristen Almer is the co-founder of the Ride Safe Foundation, hoping to reduce the number of power sports vehicle fatalities and injuries of children. Almer has felt the tragedy after her nephew died in an ATV accident.
We really felt the full weight of what these tragedies feel like and how they impact communities and how they impact families and each one of us. The pain never goes away.
Since 2020, there have been 665 fatalities of children 15 or younger, with 64 from Texas.
If you have a seatbelt on and you have a helmet on, the chances of you being fatally injured are significantly reduced, exponentially significantly reduced.
She says a change is needed.
Those of us in the industry who are desperately screaming from the mountaintops, what more can we do? It's not on us. It's time for everybody else to pick the message up and to start to do something about it.
And that was Spencer Plato reporting. Almer, that advocate there, says that she encourages drivers to complete the ATV Institute training and become safety certified. All right, it's 7:37 now, and it has been 1 year since Beaumont approved its illegal camping ordinance in an effort to make homelessness less visible in the city. Our 12 News reporter Derek Jones looking at the impact 1 year later. Derek?
Mark, it's been 1 year and the ordinance prohibits the unhoused from camping anywhere within Beaumont city limits. The Salvation Army and some other places provide assistance to the homeless, but they're dealing with overcapacity issues. Beaumont only has 2 shelters, one by day, one by night. And with camping now banned, many unhoused residents say they're left with no option. Some Other Place Executive Director Chris Robertson says they're losing space.
So places like the Salvation Army where they can spend the night, and then places like Henry's Place are all the more important, but the population is rising. Right now we created an outside area for the homeless folks to spend time because there are probably 50 more people daily than capacity would allow inside comfortably.
With homeless encampments being illegal within Beaumont, this month alone there have been 8 arrests made related to illegal camping. Some of those arrests also were charged with drug possession, public intoxication, loitering, and illegal dumping. There's a whole other side to this. Beaumont business owners and residents say they're dealing with drug use and unsanitary conditions around their doorways, especially in downtown. They argue that illegal camping ordinance doesn't go far enough. In studio, Derek Jones, 12 News.
As we take a look outside, we're looking at pretty dry conditions. We are expecting to see some showers for later on this afternoon. We'll have your forecast in just a few minutes.
From Beaumont Police.
Join 12 News weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m.
We bring you the latest breaking news.
And keep you safe when weather impacts your day.
Following the excitement with your team.
Covering local issues that matter in your community.
Watch 12 News at 6 and 10 p.m. and stream on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers,
We're normal people just like you.
and together we can make a difference.
Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
409 Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses.
It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of the human spirit.
It's agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify a community.
We give you the stats, but then we inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable.
We bring it to you all because sports lives in the 409.
I was invited to a party and I drank a few glasses of wine. I take off. The next thing you know, I see 2 pairs of lights behind me. They arrest me. It hurt. Now I have an ignition interlock system in my car and I have to blow in it every day just to turn my car on. When my son sees it, I hear him in the back seat. Daddy, what are you blowing in? It's embarrassing. My name is Eric Guerra. I had just a few glasses of wine, 8 months out, and I'm still dealing with the consequences of it.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn, here with another hurricane tip, protecting yourself against damaging wind. Secure or bring inside outdoor items such as lawn furniture and trash cans to prevent them from endangering property or people. Trim or remove trees close enough to fall on your home and protect windows with permanent storm shutters or sheeting. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Well, tomorrow's August 29th, and that's when we're going to mark 20 years since Hurricane Katrina slammed into Louisiana and Mississippi. It sent thousands of evacuees to Houston for shelter. And reporter Marcelino Benito, he takes a look back at how the dome came to symbolize Houston's heart and the lessons that still live on today.
2 decades ago, Katrina pounded New Orleans, bringing an entire community to its knees.
You saw the devastation that happened to the city, and 20 years later still brings up emotions.
Rachel Allen remembers.
It's still with you.
Absolutely.
Heartache.
We lost everything. I only had like a bag.
Tens of thousands sought refuge in the Superdome. It and the highways around it quickly became ground zero of human suffering.
We need help up here.
Space City answered that call.
Houston opened its heart and opens its most famous building and said, come on, we'll take you in. That was a big deal.
20 years ago.
All day long they had been arriving here.
Then KHOU 11 reporter Doug Miller was on the ground outside the Astrodome, walking viewers through one of Houston's finest hours.
Volunteers were coming out of the woodwork before the county government even had time to open the fence. I mean, that's what was remarkable to me.
Inside the dome,
I'm looking for my family, my whole family.
Anxiety over missing family members as storm victims rested and recovered.
I'd never seen that many people in need right here in my own city.
But every so often, joy also echoed through the dome.
We found him! We found him!
Emotional pick-me-ups among the sea of green cots.
The main thing that you could see was that these people were exhausted and they'd lost everything. And this city was their last hope.
Rachel eventually came to the dome looking for a fresh start, too.
I don't know where I would be without that.
Was the dome and the people inside, were they hope?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It was help.
Now this year, the shuttered dome celebrates 60 years of history.
That 2005 use of this building was really an end cap of its first life.
And Beth Wiedauer Jackson, executive director of the Astrodome Conservancy, says its Katrina chapter may have been its greatest.
This truly was its own community, its own city under the dome. And so we can use that as inspiration for what the future of this building can be again.
All these years later, the 8th wonder of the world, still a symbol of Houston's heart, hospitality, and home.
For many, many New Orleanians who are now Houstonians, this holds, this is a reverential place. One might argue that its finest hour is yet to come.
As for what's next, that remains up in the air at this point. The latest proposal, though, calls for repurposing the dome into an arena and mixed-use.
Outside, we have partly cloudy skies in some spots, mostly clear skies in others. Here's a view from Port Arthur as we have, I would go mostly clear skies there. Also over towards the orange area. This is Horseman's Western Shore, currently showing about 80 degrees in orange right now on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. Humidity at 94%, and we have a little bit of a north wind at about 5 miles per hour. Temperature-wise, we're in the 70s, 76 here in Beaumont, 76 in Port Arthur, 79 in Orange. Woodville, Silsbee at 75. Jasper's at 73, and Kirbyville currently at about 72. A lot of rain up through parts of Kansas, back into Arkansas, Mississippi. Looks like some of that rain working its way down towards Oklahoma for this morning. We've had some coastal showers. None of those really making too much in the way of inland push up towards, say, the triangle here, or even up farther than that. We've seen a couple of showers. Most of them were down towards southwestern part of Jefferson County. We've seen a few showers towards Port Arthur, Bridge City maybe. As we look right now, things are very quiet. Expect to see fairly quiet conditions this morning, and then this afternoon, about a 30% coverage of some scattered showers popping up through the afternoon and into the early evening. As we go in towards the overnight hours, just partly cloudy skies. Should be dry tonight. Maybe a shower here or there along the coast, but generally temperatures into the 70s once again. So we'll go 30% coverage throughout the area. Variable clouds from mostly sunny like we're seeing outside now to mostly cloudy by later on this afternoon. Temperatures there into the lower 90s, and then some middle 70s here around the triangle, inland southeast Texas, lower 70s up towards the lakes as we head in towards Friday morning. I think we'll be fairly dry overnight, and then as we get into the late in the day and Friday evening, we'll see rain coverages increase to about 50%. It all depends on the timing of this front. If it lags behind a little bit, we might be able to get Friday night football in without too much in the way of rain. But if it starts to push in here even earlier in the afternoon, it could be fairly wet on Friday night. Rain will continue off and on kind of into Saturday, and then Sunday we finally start to dry out behind the front. And we'll feel not only drier weather coming in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but also slightly cooler, as we'll see a couple of mornings there possibly into the 60s for lows.
Wow. You know, watching that Hurricane Katrina coverage just before your weather forecast there really brings back memories. I was a Mississippi Gulf Coast resident there when it hit there so long ago, destroyed my home, destroyed my job, and looking ahead here on September 24th, we've got the anniversary of Hurricane Rita.
Yeah, this is the peak of hurricane season this time of year, so you're going to see a lot of anniversaries this time of year. This is when most of the activity is in the Gulf.
Absolutely. All right, thank you, Jeff. All right, it's something many of us try not to think about, but it's impossible to avoid. Death. What happens if your loved one passes away with medical or credit card debt? Well, 12 News anchor Jordan Williams, he sat down with Judge Randy Shelton to get answers.
Time for us to turn our attention to legal matters. This is part of our commitment to putting Southeast Texas first. So we get to ask the judge to get answers to your questions. We are joined this afternoon by Judge Randy Shelton. They're at the 279th District Court here in Jefferson County. Judge, it's great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Hope things are going well. This first question from a viewer who says, how do I go about getting my name and birth date corrected on my birth certificate? I tried the health department, but really didn't get any results.
Jordan, I hate to tell the viewer this, but it really is a problem trying to get this straightened out. If it's a typo, then you can there's an application that you fill out, and then you have to get the required documents, and you can send it in, and they'll fix it. But more often than not, if it's a name change or a major name change or a major date correction, it's just going to require a court order. So first of all, you go online to the Texas Bureau of Vital Statistics, and the form that you need is VS 170. It's an application for a birth certificate correction. There's a whole list of documents that you might need to send in with it, and it's a long document form to fill out. But things like hospital and medical records, driver's license, baptism records, school records. I mean, there's about a list of 14 or so things. Anyway, you can send all that in. The fee is about $15. It's not too terribly much, and standard processing on that is about 6 to 8 weeks. More often than not, if you don't get a court order, they're going to send it back and require a court order. And then if you do that, you're just going to need to bring your forms and all the documents to the district clerk in the county where you live. Tell the district clerk what you're trying to do, and then the district clerk will go ahead and forward it on to a judge who hopefully can give you the court order that you need. But Jordan, it is a real mess.
Yeah, that sounds like quite the challenge. So just to be clear, and I don't want to take too much time, but you get the form, fill it out, and then take that to the district clerk along with your supporting documents, or am I in reverse order?
No. If you can try to send it in to shortcut it, but more often than not, they will send it back to you saying we need a court order. So
okay.
You can try it that way, but if you need a court order, just bring it to the district clerk and we'll figure it out.
All right, this next viewer wrote in saying, I accepted deferred adjudication for a misdemeanor years ago. Now I'm applying for a professional license. Will it show up, and how should I explain it to the board?
It might show up. It sort of depends on the question, or it depends on the question that they ask you, or the form. If they ask, have you been arrested for any crime, then even if it's a misdemeanor, you're going to have to answer yes. If it has to do with were you ever charged with a crime and it's a misdemeanor, you'd have to answer yes. But if you successfully completed deferred adjudication, then you do not have to answer yes if it asks about a conviction. So that's really the only way to handle it.
Okay. Final question. This viewer says, my mother recently died and left behind credit card and medical debt. I'm worried I'll be responsible for paying. I have power of attorney. Can creditors come after me or my family?
Generally, no. They can't come after you or your family. They can only look to your mother's assets to satisfy those debts. So, again, if she has enough money in her accounts or to pay them off, and you're managing those accounts as the administrator, you would be required to pay them through her accounts. But you are not personally responsible for anything. All
right, Judge, good to see you. We're going to have to leave it there on this Wednesday. We appreciate the judge's time. If you have a question for the judge, go to 12newsnow.com/askthejudge, and there's a form to fill out right there.
And when 12 News Daybreak returns here on 12 News Plus, we're going to have more news and weather in your morning rush out. We're looking at Jasper here. Your time is now 7:52.
When industry news breaks, we're on the front lines, digging into the issue.
Lamar is working to protect Power City from hackers,
filtering out rumors and giving you the facts direct from inside sources.
ExxonMobil and lawyers for the United Steelworkers
taking on the story from all sides.
The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection last year.
Southeast Texas is a power city, and we're bringing the power to you. 12 News, putting Southeast Texas first.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
409 Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses.
It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of the human spirit.
It's agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify a community.
We give you the stats, but then we inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable.
We bring it to you all because sports lives in the 409.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
I'm meteorologist Kerry Cooper here with another hurricane tip, cleaning up safely. After the storm has passed, avoid damaged or fallen power lines, poles, and downed wires in case of electrocution. Wear appropriate protective equipment including gloves, goggles, and boots. Clean and disinfect everything that got wet, and when moving heavy debris, work with a partner. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Welcome back to Daybreak. It is now 7:55 right now here on 12 News Plus, and that means it is time for your morning rush out. Here's everything you need to know. Police say that a Silsbee man attacked someone with a small sledgehammer. Terrence McCarter, he's charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That attack happened close to 1 p.m. Tuesday at a home on 15th Street. Police say the victim was just sitting at a table in someone's backyard when McCarter hit him in the head with that hammer. Now he remains in jail on a $150,000 bond. And a fish fry sparked a house fire in Orange Wednesday. Fire crews, they rushed to Rio Grande Place and they found smoke pouring out of one of the homes. Investigators, they tell us that a 90-year-old woman was frying fish when she stepped away for just a moment, only to return to find her kitchen in flames. Thankfully, she was able to escape without injury, but that home, it was damaged. And also workers in Port Arthur, they had a chance to connect with Bechtel at a job fair Wednesday. The company, they've been looking for workers for the Port Arthur LNG project. The event was organized by Workforce Solutions, so if you missed Wednesday's event, don't worry, you can still apply for a job with Bechtel online. We have a link to that on our website.
And rain chances about 30%. You don't have to worry about any rain this morning. Looks like a dry start out there, but about 30% through the afternoon. 50% covering up on Friday, especially late in the day. 60% on Saturday, and then drier weather comes in after that, especially early next week when we'll see temperatures in the around 90 and some lows in the 60s. Looking forward to that.
United Champions,
They were having fun there. It wasn't your typical World Series parade, but it was full of Vegas flair. The Summerlin South All-Stars got a champion's welcome after making history as the first Nevada team to ever win the U.S. title at the Little League World Series. But they didn't win the entire series. The team beat out 6,000 others across the country to take home the gold. They ultimately lost to Taiwan, though, on that big worldwide title, though. Congratulations to them.
Well, at least they made it to the championship game.
They made it big. All right, thanks for joining us here.
Have a great afternoon, everybody.